and how are you? My name is Berg, and I welcome you to our 10th lecture of learning how to make mobile applications using Flutter. First and foremost, I will request you to subscribe to the YouTube channel, to my YouTube channel, so that when I post the next videos, you're among the first people to get the notification. That's what I request you to do for me now. So today we're going to proceed from where we stopped us in the previous lecture, and we're going to look at how we can make dynamic lists in our web app. in our mobile applications. So it's going to be an interesting lecture. We're going to look at a lot of things. We're going to see how we can make components, how we can add data into a list and display it, and how we can manipulate that list, such as removing the data from the list. All those things are going to see how we can do it, how we can make good of them, and also how we can make individual components. Maybe if possible, we can see how we can make different functions. So that's what you're going to do today, and it's going to be really interesting. So as you can see, I've already set our timer. Always do 40 minutes, and I've already started our application that always used to practice with. Here it is. So if you're new, I recommend you to watch from the first video, so you can be on the same page with us. But if you're already a Flutter developer and you're already somewhere, there might no need for you to watch all the videos. You may still take it from here and practice or learn more new things with us. So with that much said, let's go straight into business. So here is a project that we have been doing. These are the things that we've been doing. These are the topics that we have covered, and I hope you've practiced all of them. So today we're going to proceed with with dynamic lists, on how we can make dynamic lists. So dynamic list, as you can see, it is a dynamic list. As you can hear, it's a dynamic list, meaning that everything is going to be the state need to be changed when the application is running. So we're going to see how we can mean that we're going to need a stateful widget or a stateful screen in order to be able to change the data in the screen dynamically when the application is running. Okay, so you need the stateful widget. So I'm going to go ahead and create that free widget or an empty widget, the one that I'm going to use for stateful, and for that list, and then we see how we can take it from there. So I can use the yesterday's list. I can use the yesterday's screen if I want to. This screen, I can use this very one, and I just modify this one, and yeah, let us use this one, and I will explain everything, so we shouldn't repeat ourselves. I'll explain things that can change. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So I'll go ahead and copy this list. So this is list number 11. This is chapter number 11, and copy that screen and then duplicate it. But don't worry, I'm going to explain everything in that screen, what we'll remove and what we're going to leave. So I'll make this on number 12 and call it dynamic list screen, like this. And then after, I'll come and change here. I'll come and change this name. So I'll just I'll select the whole of this one and press Ctrl F, and then press Alt and Enter so I can edit. So I'll come and change this one to dynamic list screen, as you can see there. So after doing that, we'll go ahead and add this. The word is not okay. Let me come and change it properly as dynamic list screen. All right, so after doing that, I'll go ahead and add this screen in our home page, or maybe I can just first change the title and call it dynamics list screen, like this first. So after doing that, the next thing you're going to add it to our home page, so that someone should be able to access it, and when they click on it, they should come to this screen. We're going to add it here. So to add it there, we'll have to come to our home page. So I'll come to our home page, and then I'll go ahead and duplicate this first one, and then after duplicating it, I'll come here and put dynamic list as the title, and maybe here I can say, maybe you can write some description how to make dynamic list in Flutter. Okay, so I'll come here and change this. I'll come here and change this one, okay, to the screen that you want, which is dynamic list screen. I'll press Alt and Enter, so you can do what? You can have it imported. So it is there. So if someone click here, you should be able to go to that what? To that dynamic screen list screen. So if I save, let me go ahead and put here the relevant icon. I can put an icon of what? Of can I get an icon of a list? Let me see. I think it is there. So that's an icon of a list. So we go. I'll save. Now when someone clicks here, you should be able to do what? To see our dynamic list screen. So that's what we have right now. Okay, that's what we have right now. So after that much saying, after that we're going to see how we can make this list. I mean this whole thing what? Dynamic. So I'm going to remove a few things. So I'll come to that screen, which is screen number 12 here. I'll collapse this information so I can see how I can remove a few things. Okay, so this column we will need it. This column we're going to need it. Maybe these text fields we are going to need it. We are going to need them, so I'll leave them. They're just input fields, and then this is another input field. I'll leave them there. So I will not need these values. I'll remove these ones. I'll not need ones, so I'll remove them. And then I'll need this separator, this space. I can put 20. And then I'll need these. Maybe I'll need this. I'll need maybe one of these buttons, so I can just remove the rest and I keep only one. Okay. I'll keep only one. So I'll come here and collapse this row and delete all of them. Okay, so and I keep only one. I'll go ahead and remove these separators. I'll go. Did I remove it properly? I think I did not. Let me remove these other buttons. I did not collapse the column properly. And remove these ones. All right. So there we go. All right. Are we good? There's something not right. Which one? I think is there too. Yeah, it's two. So press. So that is what we have remained with. I'll just need only one column. And I'll remove this expanded so it should behave properly. Okay, and then we'll have only this button. So all right, so here we're going to see how we can just simply put our list on bottom here. All right, that's what we're going to do right now. So since the list is going to be changing and our column is fixed, so it means that we are going to put what we call expanded in this column. I mean, after this list, because we cannot know the length of a what? I mean, the height of a list that is going to be dynamic. So these are the components that are on top here. I can collapse all of them here. So these are the beginning components. And then here in the bottom, I'm going to put a what? Our own dynamic list. So since the column is fixed and dynamic list is can change the size, you cannot know how heavy the size is going to be in the dynamic list. So you have to surround that dynamic list with a what? With a widget. So you just simply come and say expanded. So expanded will make this one to spend 100% of the remaining space in a what? In the available column. Okay, the remaining available space in the what? In this column. So to put a list, I'm going to put it here. So we'll put it in something called, we use what we call ListView.builder. ListView.builder, and then I'm going to explain these things. Let me first close here this bracket. Okay. So let me explain. I don't want to leave you behind. All right, let me explain this step by step. So here is the expanded widget that I want this list to have enough space, okay? Because it's going to be big. Otherwise, if you don't put expanded, then it will warn you when it reaches the end of the screen. So after putting the expanded list, so the next thing is you write list.builder. So list.builder is the component that is used to do what? Is the Flutter component that is used to build a what? A dynamic list. Then after, you say item builder, it takes item builder, and then this item builder you open and then give it context, and then here index, those two things. And then you open curly bracket, then inside this curly bracket, you return the widget that you need to display. Okay, so this is the list builder component. Okay, then after that, it takes another parameter called item count. So item count is the number of items that you need this list to be what? To repeat. So item count, you can put any number here. So it means that this is going to be the total number of items that are going to be in your list, and then this is going to be the widget or a single widget that is going to appear every time a list loops. Okay, so it means that it's going to display item, and then this is the index. So every time you loop, they'll be giving you the index where that list or that particular item is being displayed. So if I save right now, I'm going to see item 1 up to what? Up to 10, because I've said that there are 10, and then I've put my list to be what? To display the number, like item, and then the value that is there. So I don't know whether I put it, it's supposed to be in the column, so I'll copy this, expanded, it's supposed to be in the column, what? In the column, put it in the wrong place. So I'll make sure I'm in a column. I think the column is here, yes. Next to the button, yes. Let me save and date. Yeah, there you go. So you can see I have item 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I want you to understand that this is going to be, it is being controlled by the number of items here, and this is going, what we are seeing, what is displaying is the thing that we are returning here inside this builder. So if I say maybe 100, so what it's going to do, it is going to put for me 100 items here. Okay, save. See, it has put for me 100 items. Can you see? Hope you can see that. So it means that every time it loops, it gives you the index of where the item has done what? Of where that item has reached. So I hope you understand that. Okay. So we're going to create our simple what? Our simple list. Okay. Our simple list that is going to contain names. Okay. A simple list that is going to contain names. So to create a list that is going to be dynamic, that's going to contain names, so what shall we do? We'll first need a data source. Okay, so we're going to come here on top and create a variable of a list that is going to contain strings, and it will be having some data, right? So I'll just simply come and say list and put here string. So this is the source of data. If you know that programming, you'll be knowing how to create a list. All right. So here I'll give this a name. For example, I can say maybe names, and then I say this list is empty. Okay, we can put there some few names to begin with. Okay, I can put there, for example, Mohindo. I can put there Sumaya. I can put there Halima, like this, and then put a semicolon. So this is our simple list called names, and it's having only 3 names. Someone should mute. Mute your microphone, guys. All right, so now I want to display these names on the screen. Okay, so what shall I do? I'll come to where my list is here, and then I remove the fixed number of items, and then I put names.what.length. So name.length, it will give the size of of the names here. It will substitute those size of those names here, and then I'll be able to have the number of names here. So if I save, it is going to loop these items times the number of the names that are here. So we're going to expect from 0 up to what? Up to 3. So you can see that. Now, if I want to display the name itself, okay, the name itself, so it means that instead of substituting here an index, I'll have to access the item that is in the name. So I'll just simply say name, and then I put this square bracket, and then I put index. So the index will be able to get the item inside the what? Inside the name list that I have. So if I save right now, I should be able to see the names of the people. Okay, so I should see item, the first name, item, the second name. So you can see the list is there, the list of the names. So that is how you can make something that's really dynamic. So if I save, you'll be able to see. Hope you can see that. I have the first name, the second name, the last name. So that is how you make a what? A dynamic list. So this is a simple list. Okay. Now we can proceed. I hope right now you're not lost yet. I hope you're not lost totally. We have just simply created a data source which is called names and is containing a list of names. And then we have just put here the number of items that this list should display. And then we have displayed these items by putting the list and then put the index that we need. So this is just a simple list. I think we can even leave it there and maybe go ahead and create now a complex list. Okay, let us call this one a simple list. So I'll come here and change it. I'll come this one. I'll come to home page and call this one a simple list. Now we're going to see how I can make something much more interesting than this. So I'll come here and call it simple list. So if you come to home, should be simple list. Let me go to home page and I call it simple list, simple dynamic list. So all right, so after doing that, the next thing now we're going to see how I can make a list that is a little bit complicated or complex than this, so you can understand the concepts of Flutter state management. So I'll go ahead and copy this and then come here and put maybe complex dynamic list. Complex dynamic list. Maybe you can put here dynamic list using models and widgets like this. Then we're going to duplicate this very list here because we need to create a new one. You can maybe change the icon. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate this one and then call it number 13 and then call it complex dynamic list. Okay, so and then we'll come here, number 13, and then copy this and then select Ctrl F, Alt and Enter, and then call this one complex dynamic list like this. And then I'll come here and change where someone should click and then to be taken to the what? The complex dynamic list. So I'll save and after I'll come to our complex dynamic list. So here we can put the title complex dynamic list like this. So I save. Now if I click here, I should be able to see our complex dynamic list screen. All right, so what I'm going to do now, we're going to see how I can put it to the next level. Now let us assume that we need to collect the names from here. We collect the name and then we add it to the list here. We collect the name and add them to the list. We collect the name and add them to the list. Let's see that's what we need to do. So how are we going to do that? We can create a simple variable that will be storing a name. Okay, so I can create here just a simple variable that will be storing a name. Okay, so I can call it maybe single name like this. Okay, then I'll come and use this variable when this name will be changing. Okay, this name will be changing. I need to be collecting each value when it changes. Okay, so we'll get this variable of single name and then come and put it here in val1. Okay, so I can come here and say equals to, and then I say value dot to string like this. All right, so like this. Okay, so I want to be collecting that name here. So I want, if someone clicks on add a name here, I'm going to change this one to add name. So I'll come to this button and I call this one add name like this. So I want to, when someone clicks on the add name, I want to add that name in this list and update it. So how shall we do that? So remember this name, when every time someone changes it, it keeps on getting new values, okay? And then I want here, when someone says add, I want it to do what? To update the name, okay? So how shall we do that? We will just simply come here and say, when someone clicks on add name, what shall we do? We'll get our list of names where there's a date of names, okay? You know our list of names. And then say dot add, and then you put single name, this variable. Okay, remember this variable has been collecting. So I'll do like that. I'll go ahead and add it here. So after doing that, and then I update the state. If you forget to update the state, then your list will not update. Okay, I'll update the state. So everything that has the date of name will, on the user interface, it will update. So I can check if the name is not empty first. So I say if the name is not what? Dot is not empty. Okay, I'll just simply say, okay, I say if the name is empty, I should do what? I should return. So I'll not proceed if the name is what? Is empty. Unless the name is not empty, I will go ahead and add that name. So after adding the name, I want to clear that single name, because this single name is just a variable that is helping us to collect the name. So let me go ahead and clear it and make it to nothing. I'll save. So I'll come here maybe and try to increase the size by passing the style and put maybe text style, right? And then increase the font size to maybe 30. All right. So after doing that, I'll save. So I have a little bit much more clear names, okay? Maybe I can put here some index, okay, like this. I can put here the index. So since the computer starts from 0, I can be subtracting 1. So I'll be having 1, 2, 3, and etc. like that. Index. What's wrong with index? All right. I don't know why it's giving me what? Giving me 0. Negative. All right. No problem. Should I put 1? Index so it begins from 1? I didn't know that. All right. No problem. This. Okay. So there we go. It's supposed to be +1 because computer will always begin from 0. +1, sorry, not -1. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, and those are the names. So I want when someone come here and put the name here and say add, you should come here and add. So I think I've done the logic. So let me repeat the logic. So every time we have a free variable here that collects the name, a temporary variable. So every time something changes here, it gets that name. Then when someone click on this button of add name, it checks if that name is not empty. If it is not empty, let's see the mistake that I'm doing. I have to first add it, then I empty it. All right, so after I add it to this list, and then I make this name empty, and I then update the state. So like this, it will be able to add a name into our list. All right, so let's go ahead and test that. So I'll click on add name. So I say add name. You see, it has added the name. Okay, but you see, this name is not disappearing. So if I try to add it again, it is not accepting. Why? Because it is empty. But you can see this name did not disappear. Okay, so I want to be able to make this name disappear. So I need to control this form and make this name disappear. So if I need to control the form, you still remember that if you need to control the form, you need the form key. So you use the form key to control that form, right? You still remember. So I'm going to surround this form using a key, and then I'll be able to do what? To remove or to reset the forms when when after someone has done what, has submitted the name. What, like after you've put the name, you should be able to do what, to remove that form. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so it means that we're going to surround here with the form builder. Here you see these fields, they are not in the form builder, so you have to surround either the whole thing in the form builder, or you can surround all of the fields using the form builder. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to surround the, okay, you can surround the whole of it, you can surround only the part. All right, I think I can just simply get these two and this one and this one and this one and put them into another column, and then I surround them with what, with a builder. So I can just simply select them all. So another shortcut of adding something to column, just select them all and then right click, you'll see options, and then you see wrap with columns. So by doing like that, it will be much more simple for you to add the column with this. So around this column, I'm going to put our form builder. I'll just simply come and copy it somewhere where we used it. Form builder, this one, okay, this one. So it will give us a key, and this key is the one that we'll use to control it. So I'll come back and wrap it with a widget. So you can wrap it first with a widget, because if you see this form builder is going to take a child. So you can wrap it with the center, you can wrap this with anything that will take a child. So I can wrap it with something called widget. Okay, so this widget will allow you to take one child. And then instead of putting this widget, I'll delete it and then put form builder. But you know, this form builder, it must have a what? A key. So I'll just simply come and just copy this key and put it here. All right, so I have to define this key. So to define this key, I'll just simply come and get it here, copy it, and then come and put it here. So this key is nothing but I say key equals to global key and then form builder state. That's it. So by doing like this, now you'll be able to do what? To control your form. Okay, but you have to wrap the form builder field, you have to wrap it inside there. So I want when we finish adding the name, I want to clear the list or the names. So to do that, we'll have to come here and on the button here, after adding the name, you clear the variable, you go ahead and clear the list also. So to do that, I mean the field. So to do that, we'll just simply say form builder dot current state, and then you put dot reset. Reset will go ahead, you have to put the exclamation mark because it can be null. So reset will go ahead and format the form to become to the original value. That is one way. Another way, you can just simply put value dot edit dot value, and then specify dot patch. I'm not. Okay, I'll show you another way how you can do it. Like if you want to update the specific value, I'll show you. But this one will reset. You have to put exclamation mark here and then say dot reset. It will reset the entire the entire form and be like how it was at the beginning. So let's go ahead and put here like this. So they say add name. You see, it adds the name and then it clears the form. Like that. And then say add. Okay, it is clearing the form, but it's not adding the name. Why? Why? Let's see why. Maybe it is throwing an error. Okay, we'll have to comment this one because it has been updating the other side also. All right, so that's it. You see, I can now go ahead and put here and then when I say add name, I can go ahead and get the name. Why is it not updating the state? All right, let us be updating the state from here. After updating the state, then we go ahead and clear. I think, yeah, that's how it is. So I'll go ahead and put here. Like that. So when I say add name, it will add it. So I'll have to update the state and then reset the form. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. I don't know whether there's an error. Let us see. Maybe it is throwing an error, that's why. So I can put young like this. Say yes. Add name. Is there an error? Invalid number format character. Yeah, there's an error that's been what has been throwing. Let's see. Yeah, whether it's int pass. Let's remove this. Yeah, it has been. That's why it has not been updating. So when this one changed, it was trying to change it. Okay, so it will work also on changing this value to back to nothing. So yeah, that's it. So I think now we have fixed the error. So I can come here and put, and it's okay. Let me clear this, the RAM, and then say add. You see it is adding, and there's no error, and you can see just come here. So all right, that is a very good progress that can show that you're understanding these things. So don't just watch them, watch as you practice. So the next thing we're going to see now, how can you maybe remove these items, okay? So if I want to remove that item, it means that I'll need a user interface, okay? A user interface here. So when I click on it, it should be able to remove it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come here and surround in this row, on this text, and I surround it with maybe a row that can allow us to have maybe an X, so I can delete, or I can surround it with maybe with a list view, okay, list tile. All right, any that you want, okay? So let me go ahead and surround it with a row, and then you should be able to delete. So I'll come to where we're displaying the list here, and then I'm going to surround it with what? With a row. But be careful, if you surround it with a row, there are something that you have to be careful with, okay? So you should not be collapsing, you don't over collapse. So here I'm going to put maybe an icon, and this icon is going to be icon of deleting. So after, I'm going to put here main axis and then put space between, okay, space between. So I can give this icon a color of red, So I want now, when I should be clicking on this icon, I should be able to delete this item. When I click on it, it should go. So it means that here we have to add a what? A listener or a click listener. So I'm going to surround it with a click listener called Inkwell. Inkwell will give you ability to do what? I will give you ability to listen to a click listener. All right. So I'm going to surround it first with a widget. So I'll press Alt and Enter, and I surround this icon with a what? With a widget. Sorry, not a builder, a widget. Something like center. Then after surrounding it with a widget, I'll come here and put something called Inkwell. So this Inkwell will give us ability to listen to on click listener here. So I'll come here and put on what? On tap listener. On tap. And then I say on tap, I'll go ahead and say names. So I get the names and then say remove at, and then I put the index. So this remove at will remove the value of the name in the index that I've specified here. And then I say set state. So this one will be able to do what? To update the state. So if I save, I should be able to click, and then this guy should go. You see? I'm able to achieve that. Hope you can see that. All right. So that's beautiful. Now there's nothing in the list. So if you want to, okay, there's nothing in the list, but there's another thing that, like, if there's nothing in the list, you should be able to show. So if you want to do something like that, like show that the list is empty, I can introduce you to something called so I can come here outside this expanded, or I can come here and then within expanded, let me come outside here expanded, and then I put names, the list, and then say dot names dot is empty. So I check if the list is empty. I put a question mark like this, and then I put colon. So if this condition is true, it will execute the first things here. If this condition is false, it will execute the remaining information. So that is how you decide to display some things and not display something. So I want to see if this list is empty, I want to display here a text and say the list is empty. And just I'll just simply say text like this, and then say no names. Okay, no names yet. Okay, so you can see that. So if I'm just simply putting here like this, instead of putting a widget, just first put a condition. If I just say names that is empty, I put a question mark. So if it is empty, it execute this one, and then I put a colon. So if it is not empty, it will execute the other side. So like this. I hope you can see it, right? So you see, no names yet. So if I go ahead and now start putting the names, so when I say add name, you see, it has come. You see? So that is a very good progress. So I hope you can also challenge yourself and do such a thing by your own. So I can be able as well to do what? To remove an item from what? From the list. See, I'm able to see that. So you can challenge yourself and see, maybe you can do the sorting, you can do the randomizing of a list by adding much more buttons. You can challenge yourself by doing that. All right, I thought that time would be enough, but it's like time is not going to be enough. I wanted to introduce you to how you can make models and how you can make widgets, independent widgets, but it's like the time will not be enough for us. So maybe we can do that in the next class. But however, the whole point here is if you want, you can make this row to be independent separately. So you'll be using it in multiple lists or in multiple items as a user as a user interface. So I'll cover that in the next class, and that's why you'll also maybe be able to look at the models, how you can work with the models and data in form of what? In form of objects, other than working data in an independent way, or in how should I call it? Working with data in a what? In distinct ways. So, all right, that's it for today. In the next class, we'll begin from there. We'll see how we can get introduced to models and how you can make independent widgets or components. So make sure that you don't miss that class. Make sure that you practice. That is very important. Practice. Don't just watch. Otherwise, if you just watch, then it will not do what? It will not be able to it will not be important to you. Just go ahead and practice. Once you practice, then you'll be able to do what? Then you'll be able to do it to understand these things. So, all right, let's go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and let us meet in the next class where we can take it from here. Goodbye and see you.